Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Books and Betches. Not to be confused with books and
snitches.
What sometimes you throw
Ditches.
snitches in there. What's up with that?
Bitches.
But sometimes you throw. I just want to know.
Witches.
Okay. I'm Kristen, and with me I have
Smerica.
Maria.
Snow.
Smerica.
Listen, this is a butt podcast.
This is the button that I've pressed.
This is a book podcast, and we spoil, and I'm going to spoil this book that we're talking about today, and we swear, and we talk about sex. And listen, we've been doing this like pretty much all day, so very tired.
I'm exhausted.
So if we're a little incoherent.
Incoherent. That's fine. I knew what you were saying.
That's why.
I got an accent sometimes.
We're recording this on an iPhone, so head on over to our YouTube page that doesn't exist yet.
Apple sponsor us.
This week, yeah, Apple sponsor us. Yeah,
Things have took a turn.
Who's running Apple these days?
Imagine if they sponsor. I don't ever see
Apple. Maria.
Yeah, Apple's gonna sponsor
Hey,
her.
I pay them enough.
Maria, put that.
I got the Apple keyboard, this iPad, this iPhone, this Apple Watch. I've given them my livelihood.
I
Please put
also
that dream
pay
to rest.
them every month for
Cloud.
I play. Yeah, the cloud.
Yeah.
and
It's ridiculous.
Apple
TV Plus?
Music.
Oh no, I'm a Spotify
You pay
gal.
for Apple Music?
Yeah,
Ew.
I'm a Spotify
Do people
gal.
actually use Apple Music?
Yeah.
I do.
Oh,
Shh, they're gonna be
gross.
our sponsor. Be nice.
Apple Music is very good. Anyway, this week we're talking about The Hike by Drew Magary.
Hike.
Do you guys know anything about this book?
Is it about hiking?
Kind of.
Sounds like it is.
I mean, no, I don't know anything about this book.
So I actually, I found this on Scribd. It was like recommended in like the homepage.
Oh.
Was very into the title. I mean, not the title.
The title,
book
yeah, because
cover.
you love to hike.
the book cover's sick, but
Yeah.
it's
This one though, right? If you want to explain it.
yeah, that's
That
the
one.
one.
yeah.
Okay.
It is. It kind of looks like a game board. There is like an evil eye in the center, and then there's like navy blue and black, like it almost looks like circus, like stripes where it like the center is the center of it, and then it pinwheels out. But it's like kind of like the background, and then in the foreground is like this big green. It looks like green and blue snaky type thing that like snakes through the whole like from
Speed it
top
up,
to
speed it
bottom.
up.
No, I'm gonna take my
Having a
goddamn
moment.
time.
Let her have her moment.
And then there's some illustrations here. It looks like one's a vampire like bat. There's a mummy thing going on. There's a
you
like
know what
a
this reminds me
roach.
of? Hold on. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me like a board game, but like Candyland.
I love Candyland.
I'm going through all the like the Candyland moments.
There's one guy that's literally like chopping another guy's head. There's a crab. There's Oz, like literally the castle of Oz. There's a duck that's purple. There's a random guy with a sword. Oh wait, that's
Kristen's
not
checked out.
Oh, I thought that was a mummy. Oh wait, that's a motorboat.
Oh my god, I'm so done with.
And there's a
I
house.
regret it. Honestly,
And
I regret
wait,
it
no,
all.
no. And this fish, I know what this fish is. This fish is one of those really deep sea fish.
That's the fish
that
from Finding Nemo.
No, it's not.
Yaha!
No, it's not.
Yaha!
It's the fish that's super deep in that little light. There's a
That's
light.
from Finding
fucking
Nemo. Just
I
keep
don't know about
swimming.
that.
Just keep swimming. P242 Flyway Sydney.
Yeah, she comes across it on her adventure.
They grab it and then he eats it himself, and then they're in there and they're freaking out.
You don't
yeah.
remember that?
I don't remember
All right,
that.
get on
No.
Disney Plus, and I'm probably gonna. I just watched it like 2 weeks ago.
And I'm pretty sure that's Dracula.
Okay, you're done with the book cover. Nailed it. Very good job. I'm so happy. Everybody
I think
listening.
I nailed it with a Candyland.
Everybody listening. Totally,
Why were you so mad at me? I
took 17 minutes.
Well, you gave
But
her a
this
very
is-
complicated cover.
Yeah, what was I supposed to say? There's a bunch of shit on there.
I'm just trying to envision somebody listening to this being like, okay, like,
By the time they're probably going to be like, "Wow, I really got to look up this fucking book because it looks like a trip and a
why is
half."
Kristen being so mean? It's her title.
that's my gimmick.
It's my
It
gimmick.
is-
to
No,
over-
I'm the
over-explain.
heel.
I'm not.
I don't know what you
I'm
are.
not the face.
She's babyface.
She's
the
a
baby
face.
I'm the
What are
baby
you?
face.
You're
John?
Paul Bearer.
John, what is she?
If
If I'm the heel and she's the babyface, what does
What
that
am
make
I?
Erica?
Technically, in the industry terms, she would be the tweener.
The tweener.
tweener.
Oh, I love it.
Oh,
the
so we're
tweener.
talking wrestling terms.
You're constantly flipping.
All right, you're the tweener.
You're like Chris
So I'm the
Jericho.
tweener.
Every
Yeah.
other storyline, he's either babyface or he's heel again. You know.
Yeah.
So we used to work at WWE.
Yeah, we already covered this. Listen, this book, picked it up because that cover was sick. As you could tell, Erica just explained the entire thing. Also love
I'm
the
confused.
Also love the idea of the hike. That's what I'm happy about.
Oh, I'm
You're confused, right?
I'm real confused.
Okay. This book is like doing a ton of acid.
Sick.
And
All right.
that's how I'm going to explain it.
You got me.
If you were just tripping balls, this is this book.
I've never done drugs, but I love books that make you think you're on drugs.
I gotta say, I fucking love this book.
Yeah?
I really loved this. I think I gave it 5 stars. The Xena's in the background, by
She's
the
in-
way.
she's in the back.
Maria's
She's-
dog is here, so you're gonna hear her. Do you
She's
want me
getting her
She's
energy
scratching.
out.
Here's the thing, though. This is a book where a lot fucking happens. Like,
Well,
so
I
much
hope
shit.
you can do this whole thing in 60 seconds.
Ooh, that's
God.
right. It's your turn, bitch.
I'm just gonna have to do like base level. I'm gonna have to remind
That's
myself.
kind of what we're supposed to be doing.
Don't
Just
go so
base
deep.
level. Don't go so deep.
Don't go
Yeah,
so
it's
deep.
hard not to.
I know.
Because I want to talk
I'm aware.
about everything. There's so much shit.
There's
You
so
will.
much.
You'll be able to talk about more.
You got 30 minutes afterwards to do it.
Ugh.
All right, you ready?
No.
Wait, genre.
Oh, dark fantasy.
Ooh, dark fantasy.
Um,
Not a
Is that
thriller?
not what it
So
says?
it's not a thriller?
It's definitely a thriller.
the genres listed are like horror, science fiction,
Horror, okay.
science fiction, fantasy.
I'm really bad with science fiction because this doesn't feel like science
What
fiction
does
to me at all.
Storygraph classify it as?
Doesn't feel like science fiction in the least.
I feel like Storygraph does better
I don't
at
know. I don't know.
Like I still to this day don't understand science fiction. Like we did Ready
did
Player
a-
One,
yeah.
and we talked about science fiction a little bit, and I think that I'll never get
the
it.
technology part of it. It's things
There's
that can...
nothing on this that has anything to do with technology.
Okay.
I think
Nothing.
it's and let's
Fiction,
just-
fantasy, horror, science fiction.
yeah.
I would say
But look, science fiction is the last thing. So there's probably only small elements within the book that are science fiction-y.
Okay.
But the whole book is not science
Yeah,
fiction.
it says it does say
it's
fantasy.
like when I think horror, I think like fucking like scary like ghosts and like horror, like really horror. This is more like thriller. This book.
nothing says thriller.
I'm listening. I'm just getting the dog.
That's bonkers to me.
Here on this podcast, we do 60 seconds where one of us tries to explain the plot of the book
The whole plot.
in
All of
60
it.
seconds. And notoriously, I have been horrible at this. Kristen has done
Not
fairly
great.
well, but
Not
not
great.
great in certain circumstances. Maria's pretty good at this.
Maria's good at explaining in general, I feel like.
I feel like I just get really, really scared. So like I try to like get through it really fast. So that's why I'm always like out of breath.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of
I
talking.
get that. All right, I'm going to do my best.
But the chances are, at the end, Kristen is going to say, and a bunch of shit happens.
and I'll probably forget like the main. I
Yeah.
usually forget like the
I
main.
feel
Kristen usually tells us the most random detail that we don't
the
need.
man.
The man.
I'll tell you
my
another one.
over under here is that by 30 seconds you're gonna be like, oh shit, there's more to talk about.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
The
You ready?
beginning's hard.
No.
All right.
3, 2.
The book starts right away, Erica. It follows Ben. He's a man. So Ben goes to Pennsylvania on a work trip. He leaves his wife and his kids at home, and he goes on his work trip, and he's in this hotel. It starts right away. He's like, yo, you got any paths? I want to walk on a path. And the woman's like, there's no paths. And he's like, whatever. Goes up, finds a path. He's
Oh.
like, I'm going to go on a hike. Goes on a hike. All of a sudden, he gets lost. First thing he sees is some guy dragging a dead body.
The
and
fuck?
The
30
guy,
seconds.
oh my god, no! The guy turns to him. The guy turns to him, and he's got like a wolf for a face. So he's like, "I'm fucked." Starts running. Thinks he's gonna go back to the hotel. Doesn't. Turns into a crab eventually. Meets a fucking giant. Meets like a fucking Spaniard. And then
15
after
seconds.
being the crab, like ends up getting back home. Oh, there's gonna be spoilers. Gets back. His wife's a nurse. Turns out she ended up on the path to. I can't do this in 30 seconds.
You got 6 seconds to go.
I can't.
I just love it. It's almost
The
like
crab. There's
clockwork.
a crab. There's a wolf.
The crab is the most
It's
important part.
almost like the clockwork of like by 30 seconds you're like, fuck, I've only touched like
I just
the first
like,
chapter.
I can't do these. I can't do the 60s. I can't.
But like, what is the book about?
The book is about this guy that goes on a path and gets lost, and he goes on an insane adventure and tries to find his way back home.
Why couldn't you just say that? That was 5 seconds.
That's literally the book. That's all you had to say.
The man, the crab, the this, the that. And then you summed it up in one fucking sentence.
Xena's disappointed in you. Xena's looking at you like, bitch, you had one job.
I just really wanted to tell you about his journey.
You just wanted to tell me about the crab.
Well, that's very important.
What about the other things?
So let me break it down.
Now
Like,
you can.
there's a vampire in this.
Listen, I could break it down like the
And,
cover
like-
of the book because it's perfect.
And like, what about this guy?
It kind of follows. So listen.
Okay, this is a cricket, right?
He does something that I've always wanted to do, where you like walk into the woods and all of a sudden you're in another world. I've always wanted that to happen to me.
That sounds the most
But
terrifying thing.
that not
sounds-
possibly
but
That sounds so terrifying.
I've always wanted that to happen to me, but not in the way that it happens to him. Like
picky. Beggars can't be choosers. So
first of all, he's going on this work trip and he leaves his wife, who is a nurse, at home. We start to like learn a little bit about her backstory, though. Like,
Does
she
it
doesn't
matter?
It does. So her backstory, she's a nurse and she works in the ER. And all we kind of figure out about her is like, he talks about this one moment that she had where she comes home from work and she's like just bawling her eyes out and like so sad. And he's like, what happened? And she was like, I killed people. I can't talk about it. I can't talk about it. And she just keeps saying that. He never understood. And to this day, he like didn't really understand it. And she was just like, I killed people. I can't talk about it. Like, I'll die. I just can't talk about it. So that was like something that was brought early on, just to like tell us her backstory. I didn't think anything of it. So important at the end of the book. So he goes on this path. First thing he sees is, the dead body being dragged, and a wolf is like on the mask. And he's like, what the fuck? So he starts running away from this wolf. And he's like, what is going on? Am I not on the path anymore? And he's like running and running. And then 3 more wolves come and start chasing him. This all of a sudden it leads on this like insane journey where he finds a tent and he's like staying in the tent because he's lost now, has no service, his cell phone's not working, he can't go back because the path that he thought that he was on doesn't look like the path anymore. So he's like, I gotta keep going forward. Like,
my God.
Like, I understand that, but wouldn't you be like, well, I'm still gonna go back the way that I came?
well, the
He
thing
tried.
is, he thought that he was going to a destination. So he just kept wanting to go, and he was like, I need to fight. Plus, the wolves were behind him because he ran away from them. He's like, if I go back, I'm gonna get killed. So I have to keep going forward. That was his only option.
Okay.
That's pretty deep.
And when he stays in this tent, he has this like, you think it's a fever dream where his ex-girlfriend from like high school shows up and they have sex.
What?
Yeah. And he's
Okay.
like, so you're kind of like, okay, is this a dream or is he in a different world? At this point, you're not really sure. When he leaves there, it like kind of turns in the path, like turns into like, now we're on a beach. And this is from Pennsylvania. So now we're on this like beach.
Is there a
And-
beat?
There
No.
is. Isn't there?
No.
I don't
No,
think Philadelphia
Delaware.
touches the ocean, right?
No.
I'm not good at geography.
Anyway, and this is
Look
where
it up.
things get interesting, my friends.
They're now getting interesting.
He meets a crab. Okay? He meets this crab. This crab is the dopest character. I want to say one of my favorite characters in any book I ever read is a fucking crab, Erica. Not a bucket of water. It's a crab.
It does border. There's a bay, the Delaware
yeah, but
Bay.
it's not like the ocean.
I mean,
It's an ocean in the book. Okay, I got you.
It's like this.
Oh, yeah. But I don't know if he's in Philadelphia. It just says in Pennsylvania.
He's not. They're not landlocked. I'll say that.
All right. Fair enough.
Okay.
So he meets this crab who is pretty brash. Like, brash, is brash a word?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, fucker. And like, that's how he talks. He's like, what's up, bit? Like, and he's like, well, I need your help. And I need to like, I don't know why I'm here. And the crab is like, well, you just got to figure, you got to stay on the path and meet the producer. That's what he tells him.
The producer.
And he's like, who's the producer? I'm going to find him. I'm going to kill him. I want to get off this path.
Is
And
that
he's like,
God?
no. He's like, you got to meet the producer. It's the only way to get off the path. So he goes into this house that's on the beach and there's a fucking giant cricket in there.
Okay, so we got the cricket.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's got to defeat the cricket.
Check the
He runs
cricket.
to the crab. He's like, can you help me defeat this cricket? And you know what? The crab's like, I got nothing else going on. Fuck it. So he like puts him in his pocket. Now the crab is like going to help
So
him.
it's not a big crab. It's like
no, it's an actual
size.
fucking crab. It's
But
a
like,
crab.
it's not like a fan. Like a.
No.
I was imagining a large crab.
But the
No.
cricket is oversized.
The cricket is oversized. He ends up killing it. And
How?
The
there's-
crab?
I don't remember.
He asked the crab for
The
help.
crab helps him like figure things out, basically.
The crab is the brain.
I forget how. I'm gonna forget a lot of like details, and people who've read it are gonna be upset with me.
That's happened with. I'm pretty sure.
But I don't care.
The one I forgot a lot of details and got
Whatever.
some things messed up. So if that happens, you know what?
It's
Just
whatever. I'll
deal
tell
with
you
it.
what I got from it. Beats the fucking cricket. Ends up there's like a boat, and him and the crab get on the boat. Okay.
Yeah.
And now
yeah, I'm here.
he falls asleep.
This is the boat. I think this is the boat.
Is it the boat?
Yeah.
So when he wakes up, now everything is ice. And
Ooh.
there's a mountain. And he knows the path follows to the top of the mountain. He's got like these crampons. He's got to like ice climb.
Crampons.
They're like spikes for the bottom of your feet.
Is that
if you go ice climbing? Yeah,
Like,
a crampon.
I don't
You either have
go-
like micro spikes or crampons.
Cool. Okay.
So he's like, I gotta climb up this mountain, and he has like the crab, and he's like, are you gonna be able to get this mountain? He's like, what do you think? I'm a fucking crab. And he's like, oh shit. So puts him in his pocket, and they start climbing this mountain, and when they get to the top, there's a giant, like a woman who's a giant. She's actually like kind of pretty, but she's a fucking giant, and she's
She's not in here.
She's such an important
She's
character
not
too.
in here.
And she's basically what she's doing is eating a bunch of humans
Oh.
to like build, like something's about to happen, like she's building her strength, so she wants to eat a bunch of humans, and says to like traps him. So Ben's fucked. He's trapped, and the crab is like kind of doing its own thing.
Poor Ben.
Yeah, so
Fuck
she's
the
like,
crab.
I'm gonna eat you, bro. Like, get naked. Like, I'm gonna eat you.
She doesn't eat fabric. She only eats humans.
Yes.
Cool.
So Ben tries to escape a couple times, doesn't work out, and then she gives him an ultimatum, and she says, you can either beat one guy or 3 midgets. And
That's
he's
a
like,
question I ask a lot.
Wait. Hold.
What would you
That's a type of question we ask all the time at work. Is we always ask like, how many corgis could you kill?
Oh
Why
my
would you kill a
God.
corgi?
Like if they all came at you
Why
at
would
once.
you kill a corgi?
Why's it gotta be a corgi, bro?
Because they're like little, but like they're not
I
real
would-
sized dogs.
I would die at the hands of corgis. I wouldn't
How
hurt
many
them.
do you think you could take though? Like with your bare
None,
hands?
because I will let them take
One?
me. I'm
That's
just
what
dead.
I'm saying.
Oh, at a time? Like 50?
Like if like
They're
15 came at you, do you think they would
Yeah, you just
overpower you
kick.
and die?
No,
No, we're
See,
not
I-
kicking dogs.
we're not that
I
kind
mean,
of
it's
podcast.
definitely a morbid question. I'm not saying
Yeah,
it's not.
Yeah.
But
Well, he chooses the one person because he thinks it's a trick anyway. He's like, what, are 3 midgets going to have fucking superpowers and they're going to grow and be trolls? You know what I mean? So he picks the one. The one ends up being one of the dog face guys.
Great.
He kills it. He wins.
Oh, cool.
The
what
giant.
does this guy do for a living?
I don't really know. I don't know if they
it's a
say.
work
Is he like Jason Statham?
They don't say what he does.
You know what? Now I'm imagining
Who
us
is
Jason
he?
Statham. Now I'm
Yeah.
gonna see that now with the always the British accent and just
kinda
always
like it.
angry.
I like it.
Is
I'm
that
in.
who he is? He's
I'm in
just
now.
fucking
Maybe.
low key.
That's our fan cast. I'm down with that.
All right.
Okay.
I can take that. I actually
Yeah.
like that. So the troll, not the troll. I keep calling her a troll. She's a giant. The giant gives him a potion that'll allow him to become
Alice
a
in
giant.
Wonderland. Sick.
So he takes the potion. He's like, thank you. And him and the crab head down on the
Who's
path.
extra small now.
Yeah. Well, no, he didn't take the potion yet.
Oh, okay.
So he's walking, unless he did, I don't remember. But he's walking down the path, and now he sees a house.
The house is
There
here.
it is, right there.
It's
House.
his house.
It's
Oh.
his own house.
So he's like, oh my God, am
I'm
I
home.
done? I'm home. And his son is outside. And he's like, hey, buddy, come here. And the son says, no, Dad, I can't do that. And by now, the guy knows Ben knows if he leaves the path, he'll die. So he has to stay on the path. So the son is like, I can't come to you, Dad. And he's like, well, I can't come to you. And he's like, you just got to keep going on the path. And
So
he's like,
fucking weird.
so they're right there, and he can't touch them or see them or like hang out
How
with
does
them.
he know that he will die if he gets off the path? Like what tells him that he would die?
I missed the first
Probably the
stop.
crab.
He had a first stop with like an old lady in the house, and she like explained everything to him.
Okay.
She gave him some magic beans.
Got it. Magic
so,
beans. Giant.
So this is where it gets really interesting. You ready?
Okay.
They get to this split in the road, the crab and the Ben. And the crab says, all right, Ben, this is where I leave you. You got to go on your own way. And by now, Ben has asked the crab like 100 times what his name was. He's like, just call me Crab. He's like, I'm going to call you Fred. He's like, if you call me Fred, I'll fucking pinch your arm off or something.
I like
so
Fred.
they're about to like split, and he goes, were you a human in your past life? And the crab was like, yeah. And he was like, can you just tell me your name, please? And he's like, you're not going to like it. And he's like, tell me your name. And he's like, my name's Ben. So Ben is like, huh, is this what I think it is? And he goes, yep. And Ben goes, how long have you been on this path? And he goes, give or take 10 years. And Ben says, so I'm going to be a crab in 10 years? Or I'm going to be a crab for 10 years? And the crab says, yeah, you are. So
Oh no.
Ben kind of accepts this, and he's like, okay, that's my fate. I'm going to turn into a crab. They go the separate ways on the path. Okay. And the next thing is kind of like this Spaniard ends up showing up in broken English. He's a pirate. and he's from a different time.
Okay, got him.
Yep. And he's like,
Like how Erica's just following along on the cover.
he doesn't know why he's there either. And he's like, I got to find the producer.
He looks confused on the cover. Yeah.
Yes. And
Does he?
He's like holding his hilt thing, and he's like, ugh.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. All right.
No, it makes sense. So they end up in like this crazy world, like that castle. That's where they're kind of at, the castle.
Okay.
So they're looking for the producer.
Yeah.
Has anyone else spoken about this producer or
Nope.
what he is or what
No.
they are?
No, they still don't know why they're on this path at all. Like, no, there's no answers. So they're at this castle, and him and the Spaniard guy are trying to figure it out. And the pirate, they find out that like this ingredient that they need in order to like have some sort of potion is gold, and the Spaniard has like a gold tooth, so they like rip out his tooth, and like that's a whole thing. They suck up these things in a vacuum. Adventures happen. Now, when the Spaniard's like, I have to leave, what are you going to be up to? He said, well, I got to drink this like potion, but I already know what it's going to do. And the Spaniard's like, what? He's like, well, I'm going to be a crab for a little while. And he's like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm going to be a crab. That's what I got to do. So they go their separate ways. Ben becomes a crab. He's a crab for 10 years. Okay.
Does he meet himself?
After 10 years, Big Ben comes. Young Ben is what we call him. He's older Ben. They meet. They do the adventures all again.
Oh my God.
Now, this is from the crab's point of view.
Oh my God.
Very interesting.
You reread everything in the crab's point of view?
No. It was like it was just kind of like
Time jump.
Yeah. It was
Got it,
like,
thank
this
God,
is, we
okay.
were on the mountain, we do this. Now, I'm trying to remember the end and how he ends up. Okay, so the giant comes back, and she's like really good, and she like kind of helps him.
Mm-hmm.
And she is basically like, you can either, I'm going to give you 3 options. You could kill yourself. You can kill yourself. You can jump on this train, which will like keep you on the path and eventually get you to the producer, or something else. Basically, he ends up meeting this producer. Like, he ends up going on the train.
Is it Dracula?
No, I don't know why there's a Dracula on there. Maybe I missed something. But he ends up meeting the producer, who's just like a fucking normal guy. And this guy is like, oh, I'm not the producer. You're the producer. So
Fuck?
he says, you're the producer. I'm the executive producer. And and he said, he doesn't really clarify everything. But basically what he says is like, we have 2 doors here. You can either go through this door and carry on the path and live a way better life than the one that you're on. It's like everything you ever wanted through this door. Or you can go through this door and go back home, but you can't speak about this place or else you'll die. You can't do Morse code. You can't do anything. Like, you will instantly be killed if you talk about this place. So you can go back to your life, but if you even talk about this place, you're going to die. So all of a sudden, Ben takes the gun that he has, shoots himself in the head, and like his younger self comes out of his older self. So it's like 2 of him. And the producer's like, wow, I've never seen that happen before.
Wait. But when he shoots himself, is he a crab?
Yeah, there's like, he like is part crab somehow. He like comes
Okay, so
out
he sort of
himself.
gets turned back into a human.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he becomes a human towards the end.
Okay,
He like
okay.
takes a potion.
Got it.
So he goes through both doors, but we follow him through.
Oh.
So the ending is insane. This is just what I want to talk about. So he leaves and goes back home. This is how it ends. It
So
ends,
2 of him.
Yeah, but we follow real older Ben, just like normal Ben.
Mm-hmm.
So Ben from the beginning. He goes back home to his house, and his wife comes outside, and it ends with her like hugging him and being like, he's like, because he says, oh, I'm coming home from my work trip early, like I don't want to be here. And she's like, what? You didn't even have your meeting yet. He's like, I'm just coming home. She's like, okay. And he gets home, and she looks at him, and he looks at her, and he says like, and in that moment he realized like that she realized something was wrong with him. And in that moment he remembered when she came home that day crying and said, I can't talk about what I did. I killed people, and if I talk about it, I'll die. And in that moment, they both realized that they had been on the path, and they both experienced the path, and they can't talk about it. And that was how it ended.
This fucking book.
So when I was
So
listening,
no epilogue?
no, fuck that.
No
So
epilogue.
when I was listening to it,
okay.
I was just like, as soon as they said like, oh, the wife had been on the path, I literally like threw my hands up and I went, oh, great twists.
Honestly, that's a very interesting book, and I maybe I'm thinking too deep into it, but it feels like it's talking about the human choice.
Yes.
And how your path is not really predetermined. It's all you.
Yeah.
You may think you are predetermined. You might be told today, oh, you're going to turn into a crab for 10 years, and you might believe it. But it's your choice to continue that path, right? So he could have easily tried to find a way to not be a crab. But he was like, nah, I'm accepting my fate.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a choice. It's not something being done to you. It's you experiencing something, you're doing it yourself.
Absolutely.
That's very interesting.
It's also like a lot about facing your insecurities. Like he had been bitten and attacked by a dog when he was younger. So
that's
the
why he
fact
runs
that
by the
he
wolves.
that he sees like these dog-faced men that are like trying to kill him, and he ends up like killing one. It's like facing your fears in a sense. But I think a lot of it just has to do with like the choices you make and like the path you take in life.
I think this is like a very like abstract way of tackling the human psyche.
Yeah, definitely.
I think this is absolutely bonkers to have done this in 278 pages.
That's the
it's
best
short.
part about it. That's
It's
the
short.
best part of it.
That's a short book.
Maybe that's why I loved it so much, was because like we went in it.
Imagine if Stephen King did it.
Yeah.
That should be with the 1,500
Well, that's
pages.
what I'm saying. A lot of stuff reminded me of Stephen King.
This is a crazy book. I'm really glad we got this on video because I think my face was just and I don't want to say like it was an acid trip, but the author clearly had done acid before.
Yeah. We were talking about in the last...
Because you don't think of that.
No. We were talking about in the last podcast how we like where you were saying you like when books like just drop you right in it. Like I want to say like the first page, he was getting to Pennsylvania, and by the second page, he was on the path and shit was happening.
Yeah.
Like, I was shocked that
That's where
we
you
just
need to be.
jumped into it. I was like, holy shit, this is happening. Okay.
Well,
I
if
thought,
you only have 278 pages,
True.
you better.
It's like
That's
like
true.
if somebody just like poured a glass of water on you, you're like, fuck, I'm wet now. Like, I'm in it. I don't understand why he was a crab. It's this bucket of water all over again.
no, it's a really good character. Like, I don't want to compare those
But
two.
why is he a crab?
I don't know. That's what I wonder if everybody's journey is different. I wonder if his wife had a completely different perspective on the path. I wonder what your path would look like, Erica.
I think that's the point though, that they like all had different, like everyone has a different path.
Sometimes when I read these types of books, especially like adventure books or like books where like you're on a hike or on a mission, I like to ask myself, could I do this? I recently watched a video about this woman that survived a plane crash in the Amazon.
Oh my God.
And she broke like almost all her like bones. Not really. She tore ACL, broke a bunch of stuff. This was in the 70s. This really happened. And nobody survived the plane crash except for her. And she was in the middle of the Amazon, and she had to get out of the Amazon as she's dying. And it took her like 11 days. And she followed the water. She knew like a lot of stuff and like tried not to eat anything poisonous. And there's fucking crocodiles and everything scary out there.
Mosquitoes out there alone can kill you.
When I think about stuff like that,
I would die.
genuinely think that I wouldn't survive.
No, I would not.
And we talked about like, the human brain is amazing. And when you're...
They figure it out. You'll figure it out.
I don't know that I would though.
Well, here's the thing. Like, have you ever watched Naked and Afraid?
Yeah.
I would
I've
think
seen
of it like
clips.
that, right? Like Naked and Afraid, like
But there's
I think
a producer there making sure you don't die.
to some extent,
Yeah.
a lot of people get carted out of there,
True.
like very often.
They bring you to your breaking point.
But you figure some stuff out, but if you don't have a baseline of how to survive in the woods, you're gonna die.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I don't have that.
In a serious
Like I would not
survival-
survive
no,
in the woods.
No.
I can barely build a
I like
fire.
to think I would, but really
I would
about it.
think back to Naked and Afraid episodes and be like, I saw this
What-
bitch do
what
this.
they do this.
Yeah.
But I would probably die of dysentery. Like
Dysentery.
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 The
Dysentery.
Oregon Trail.
I would die.
Oh, that girl
of
that
E.
survived the
coli.
Amazon, she had a cut on her and it was infected with maggots.
Yeah.
And she's walking 11 days in the fucking Amazon infected with maggots.
So I always think of these, especially when it comes to like, remember the guy who cut off his arm
In the cave that was stuck
that
in
got
the
stuck in the cave?
James Franco.
Yeah, the James Franco
28
movie.
days.
Like
128 days.
I don't think I could have 128 hours.
20. Yeah.
I don't think I could cut off my arm
Definitely
In a
cannot.
survival situation where it's life or death.
with a like
No way.
a pocket knife.
The blunt force you have to put into that.
The
But
nerves.
do you think
the
your
nerve- yeah.
do you think in that
I don't know.
We don't know, but like
I would never want to be put in that situation.
I
No.
might. No, I wouldn't. I would think I might break my own arm to like make it go somewhere. So I've broken both before, and at this point, I'm like, well, same thing.
I might try to break it, yeah, but
But
I
I
don't know if
wouldn't
I could
cut it
my arm
off.
off.
that was like basically my mindset. Like if I was on this path and I had these like things happening to me, I think I would lay down and die.
But like,
he couldn't die. That was the other thing. Like if he stayed on the path, he
Yeah.
could not die.
But like, could you eat another person to stay alive?
No.
I don't think I could either.
I don't know.
Yeah, after
I'm still convinced Maria's
a cannibal.
cannibal.
I don't know. I listened to enough of the last podcast on the left hearing Henry Zabrowski say like, well, human meat would just smell like pork.
Oh my God, Maria.
Oh, wait. I watched a TikTok and there was this girl who was like, it was one of those ones where it was like, what's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten or something like that. And this girl was like, well, my like ex-girlfriend was a crazy person and she made me lunch one time and she was like really into knife play, but she ended up like cutting out a chunk of her thigh and chopping it up into my spaghetti. And like I ate it not knowing. And I was like, this is really chewy. What is this? She said she was sick for days.
I'm going to actually throw up. That's not real.
That's some bullshit.
I mean, it's
that has
a
to be
TikTok
illegal.
video. Yeah, it's illegal.
Okay, yeah, no, I don't. I think if
She didn't
I
even
was,
cook it?
she did.
I don't. It was in the spaghetti. I
In
don't
the
know if
spaghetti.
it was.
If
I'm
I
assuming it
was
was
in
cooked.
a dire situation,
That's the thing.
Like life or death, would you
or
eat another
death,
person?
I might, depending on how much I want to live.
Well, as you guys know, I just love hiking, and like the fact that this was called The Hike, like that's what like
That already
really
got you.
So I mean, I love thinking about just like things that goes wrong when you're on that hike, and like what do you do in that survival situation?
The amount of times you and I have gotten lost on our hikes,
Yeah, I'm not good at
Already scares
navigation at all.
every time with like clockwork.
I
You're like,
know.
well, I might know where we're going, but I might
say
not.
that a lot. I say I might know where we're going. Just like with books, like I might know the story. I might
not.
Just gotta bear with me.
That sounds really interesting, though.
I don't know. The problem is when I do these things, I don't have any recommendations for you guys at the end because I don't read a lot of books.
You do. You just read a lot of big ones right now.
I know.
I think that's honestly, it's a book I wouldn't have picked up because
it
I don't know
reminds
if that's
me
something
of,
I genuinely
for.
think everyone should read it. It's short and it's so fun and it's such an adventure and it just takes you out the world for a minute.
Yeah.
I totally recommend it. Yeah, if you have any recommendations, something that I might like that's not romance, or I know like a lot of our followers they like you guys like all types of different things, but I know a lot of it has to do with romance because that's what we're posting a lot of. Obviously, I'm not like the most into romance. I'm trying to dabble in different
You don't
things.
have to if you don't want to.
I mean, I definitely want to like broaden my horizon always, but if you guys have any good recommendations of just give
Weird
me a
ass
book.
books.
Give me a book that's going to take me out of reality for like a couple days, you know?
You know what I want? I want some thriller recommendations.
Yeah, some thrillers, some
I
adventures.
feel like I've only dabbled in thrillers
I like
recently. Like I read the one,
Yeah.
and now that the show's coming out or is out, I can't remember if it's out or not. Those kind of books that like just give you like the edge of your seat kind of vibes.
Yeah.
I'm down for something like that.
Same. Yeah. Give us some recommendations on Instagram, books_n_Betches, BETCHES. And we'll definitely respond, and Erica will be your friend. Thank you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.